So the left-hand one now is your full swing. We talked about that club face on the ground, making sure it sits down square to target. So the bottom groove needs to be 90 degrees towards your target. If you line up the top part of the golf club, the sort of top toe end of the club, with this bit I'm drawing with the yellow line there now, the hosel, okay, that club's going to be turned in, the ball will just go left to target. You'll do that sort of straight pull. Okay, so make sure that club looks a little bit to you, almost to the right or open, is actually a square club face, okay? The left-hand one we've got on here now is basically your full swing. I'm just going to go through all the good things we're seeing now. Elbows, great. Club's working above your right shoulder nicely. Good shoulder turn, good hip turn. You stay on top of the golf ball. From here now, you move left into that impact. Very good. Yeah. At impact, your hands now, that's your practice, sorry. That's where the impact would have been. Your hands now are kind of ahead of the golf ball, yeah. So good movement there now. And through the target. Set the golf ball. Same good shoulder turn. Hips moving. Didn't move quite as much. There's a bit more pivot on that one. I don't know if you can sort of see that, but that move there's got a bit more kind of hips spinning a bit earlier, which is why it goes a little bit left. At this point now at impact, your chest is opened up a little bit, whereas the practice swing, when you're coming in there, okay, your body's a bit more kind of facing the target, and your hips, there's more lateral move with your hip here, which again you'd expect in a practice swing because obviously there's no ball to be hit. That's moving your hips a bit more laterally there, as opposed to your hips a bit more kind of spinny there, okay? You're not quite moving off your back foot so much. So the first one in your practice was more here. The second one looks a bit more, yeah, that way, slightly, okay? Just a bit more twist. But again, certainly a massive improvement on what you had a few months back and now going forward, obviously. And then again, a good swing to the finish position up on your left side. But if we look at your arms to impact, okay, nice and wide going back, nice and wide coming down, swinging the club through there. It's a little bit narrow here, okay? Looks a bit tucked up. Look at the full swing in your practice swing. The difference in your arms there,
yeah,
they look very similar to that on the way back, which is that sort of, these lines, let's see, too many lines. Green line's your spine, yellow line, sorry. There you go. There's your hands. There's roughly, well, we're putting more there, I suppose. Hands to the same spine, okay? When you've got a ball in the way, that's good, because there's no instinct to hit a golf ball. Arms tuck in. Now again, because you're twisting a bit more than you're used to or should do, and your arms pulling in, it will go a bit left. With a full swing though, because you're aware of where the golf ball is, and you're moving better, and you're shifting this way, you get reasonable shots. It might go a bit left though. With these shots, okay, these tiny little chip shots, same good width there now. This one's okay here, that was a reasonable strike. These sort of small little chips are okay. As you start going into a longer version of that, but not a full swing, if your arms start tucking up too much here, around this part of the swing here now, if that happens a fraction before the goal, again, I say a fraction from there at impact to there after impact is literally like 10th of a second, if that. It's boom, yeah? So if your arms are tucking up here, they haven't suddenly gone perfect into impact and then gone this way. They've been kind of bending and tucking up. That's kind of like a symptom of your arms tucking up before impact, which means the club now is going to be getting higher. If your elbows come into your body, that club hitting area is going to be higher up, thus resulting in balls being topped on the ground. Okay, so when you're into a 7-iron, you're aware of the club. The 5-iron, the longer clubs, the 5 wood, if you pull or tuck a little bit, it's okay. Okay, with shorter irons that haven't got that length to help you, you would top in a few of them. Did that skills challenge, went to the whole bag with different clubs. We saw the 9-iron wasn't great. Went to the bag, did a bit of work on that there. Come back to your 9-iron, the last 3 hit the green 3 times out of 3. 75 yards, you hit the green, boom, 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 boom. You're dialed in, hitting the golf ball as you want to, okay? So getting that movement through the ball, which will come from a better hip movement, as in hips swaying, and the feeling of your arms swinging the club to where you want to go. But for so many years, or so many times in the past when you're playing, you were doing this with your body to try and hit the ground, that big dip, partly because your elbow. And what your brain was then telling you is if I start here, elbow this way, sorry, and I'm coming down, if I extend my arms, it's going to bloody hurt. I'm going to slam into the ground there. I'm going to go, oh, I don't want that. So what you're going to do, you're going to pull up out of the shot, yeah? And this then creates a sort of tucking up movement. Now your arms are here. In practice, as we saw, it's something you can physically do very, very easily, yeah? Look at the post-impact there. Look at the difference in those two arms there. That's kind of nice and extended. That's all tucked in there, yeah? And that's more the hitting element where you're trying to do this as opposed to just let your arms and body kind of swing through to target. You've got this, which a lot of times is I want the ball up in the air for one, or I don't want too much power, so I'll just stop and your arms are tucking in. Okay?
Yeah.
Have a couple more there with that 9, and okay, then we'll try a few sort of different random shots, okay? But generally speaking, I got a lot of positives with the long game, certainly, and I think that I'm pleased the fact now you can almost grab any club from your bag and hit it, yeah?
Yeah.
There's not like, oh, give me a 7, I'm fine. Hit a 9 or a 6 or an 8 or a 4 or a 6, it's no good. Now it's like, okay, every club in the bag, barring the 9-9 initially because of this fault, and that's where golf can be confusing. Some swing faults will not affect other clubs as much as other clubs will get affected by it, yeah? Like anything, I suppose. If you've got a headache, your feet feel fine, don't they?
Yeah.
If you've got an ingrown toenail, there's nothing wrong with your hands or your toes hurt. So where the pain is or where the problem is, the focus is on that bit, yeah? But it's not going to change to something else. So the fault in your golf swing here is causing your short iron to struggle. Other faults in your swing would cause longer clubs to struggle, yeah? It's just depending on what you're doing, yeah? It's not good or bad or right or wrong, it's just the characteristic of a fault is either one wing or the other, okay? So, but definitely looking better, mate, so keep it up.